Howdy, 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 it is the Anime Observer, and I'm going to be talking about a really awesome manga series that you have probably never heard of. It is called Astral Project, and I would have never heard of this if it weren't for finding it at a used bookshop somewhere and thinking, why not? Because it was like $4. So, I got this book, wasn't really expecting too much out of it, and, started reading it, one of the first things I noticed is this book doesn't look like all of the other ones. And now, it is manga, so obviously it has that same kind of style to it. But at the same time, that style is slightly altered to their personal style. And that, for some reason, just seems really good to me. I really like their style. And so, seeing just the art is one thing that made me like it more. But the story is really interesting because it is about astral projection. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is essentially like an out-of-body experience. It is like where your being, or your astral body, being essentially a copy of yourself, your soul, or whatever context you want to put it in, uh, basically it just leaves your body and you can fly and do all kinds of things, and you can't be seen by normal humans anymore, and you're essentially observing the world or whatever realm that you're in through your spirit or whatever, your astral form, instead of your physical body, and you just leave that behind as if it were sleeping. And so that is what this is about. The main character, his sister dies, like right off the bat. This isn't going to be any spoilers. His sister just mysteriously dies, and when he goes like to her room or whatever, he wants to find something to remember her by, so he gets the last CD she was listening to, and whatever is on this CD, it triggers him to astral project, essentially. And the story goes from there, and he's trying to wrap his head around all of the things that come with astral projection, because it opens up a whole new world, essentially. Instead of just the physical world, there is something entirely different now that he is aware of. And he's also trying to find his sister, as well as find out why she died and all these kind of things. And without really giving anything away, it's pretty great. I enjoyed it a great deal, and also astral projection is just a really interesting thing, because if you hear about anyone who's had an out-of-body experience and they've said like they saw heaven or whatever, I mean, I'm not religious, so I don't really buy into that kind of thing, but at the same time, that is basically what this is. And so I don't know, it's just a really interesting take on it. There are plenty of like real life accounts of this same sort of thing, so I don't know, it's just intriguing to me. The science fiction has always been kind of intriguing to me, but things like this, things that are supposed to be, I guess, spiritual or whatever, not religious, but spiritual, and that kind of things that are beyond the grasp of humans, that's just pretty interesting to me, and that's pretty much how this is. Now, I'd like to think that I'm a fairly intelligent person, but some of this was kind of confusing to me, and just the way that things were put, I guess, all of it didn't necessarily make sense to me, and I think you would see what I'm talking about if you read it, because there's no real way to explain it without you seeing it. And that, if I just tried to explain it, it would give stuff away anyway. But yeah, I didn't completely understand all of it, and it's not as much that I didn't understand it as the exact things that they were saying just didn't really make that much sense, as far as astral beings speaking of the future of humanity and things, and their assessment of the human race, all of it wasn't altogether important or meaningful. But other than that, it's also got like a love story subplot to it, which is fairly interesting, but it also lacks a bit of substance. And the main character is kind of a loser. He drives around basically high-class prostitutes for the Yakuza, and outside of that, he doesn't seem to have much of a life whatsoever. So that's just kind of what he does, is he drives around these high-class prostitutes, and then he finds out about astral projecting, and then everything, his life just entirely changes. His focuses change. Everything he knew suddenly changes. And it's just a really good story, but the thing is, it's really short. It's only 4 volumes, so if I really got into much of the story, it would just go straight into the things that I would say are kind of spoilers, because that's, you read the story to find out. And pretty much the whole thing is important. So it's not like there's just fillers or anything. If you're reading it, then if you're going to continue to read it, it's all story. So that's another thing that I liked about it. And I think that's really all I can say. So this is one that I would definitely recommend, and I'd probably give it about a 9 out of 10. Just because A, it's short and really entertaining. B, because it's something that actually made me think. And C, just because the story is actually good. And I don't mean good in the sense that it's like, ah, that was pretty good. I mean, like, I actually really like the story, and that's not becoming a more common thing for me. So, yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit, and if anyone else has heard of this, then I'd like to hear what you think about it, if you've read it especially. And if you have any suggestions for future reviews or anything, then leave a comment or send me a message. Also, once again, I'm having a giveaway coming up, and I will be giving away, hold on one second, these 5 books, Get Backers 1 through 5. These are really good books. I happen to have 2 copies of them, each one, so I'd really like to give these away to one of you lucky people. But first, I need something from you, and that is your subscription to my channel. Sorry, that's how it works, and plus I'm broke, so I can't just do a ton of giveaways anyway. But yeah, 50 subscribers, 5 books to the lucky winner. There may be a runner-up prize, which would probably also be like a volume of manga or something. Not really sure yet. It depends on what's going on when I get closer to it and how many people enter. And so this is going on pretty long, and I think this is where I need to end it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. It's the Anime Observer, signing out.